Dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today, also on behalf of the entire Renewable Carbon Initiative. My name is Svenja Dahl from Nova Institute, and today here I'm introducing one of our members, International Flavors and Fragrances, short IFF. As representative here with me, Mr. Dr. Christian Lenges. Hello.
Hello.
He is Venture Director at International Flavors and Fragrances, holds a PhD in Chemistry and Catalysis, and a Master degree of Business Administration. And I would also like to give a short introduction on the company itself. International Flavors and Fragrances has a leadership position in the production of flavors, fragrances, enzymes, soy proteins, and cosmetic actives for several end markets, such as food, beverage, home and personal care, perfumery, and also the pharma industry, and is now moving to renewable carbon. And this would bring me to my first question to you, Christian. Where does your motivation come from to implement renewable carbon now in your products?
Yeah, I think the legacy of IFF in this area has been that renewable carbon has traditionally played a significant role. And so it's not really so much a transition to renewable carbon, but really being able to talk about renewable carbon in a more science-driven and comprehensive way to help our customers, our stakeholders, and the overall community to better appreciate how innovation in this area is really helping the overall industry and especially also then IFF to progress. So the interesting aspect in this is that we've traditionally used renewable carbon for a lot of our materials, be it on the biotechnology side, be it on materials that go into the food, flavor, or fragrance industry, but we've not really started to measure exactly how the choice of these materials translates into metrics like greenhouse gas avoidance or contributing to overall sustainability advances. And that's really where RCI can really catalyze this conversation going forward.
And with regard, I come back to your products. What renewable carbon source beside biomass do you use for your products?
Well, I mean, traditionally, of course, there's a range of renewable carbon sources as a specialty materials, chemical, additive ingredient business. We're participating across multiple and a large number of value chains that are tied to various feedstock industries. This could be more of the traditional large scale starches and celluloses, but it could also be many specialty value chains coming out of the flavor or food industry. So that's kind of the baseline. And I think as we go forward and we think about innovation, especially as we use biotechnology, being able to access sugar building blocks and converting them into materials that can replace existing petroleum-based materials is an increasing focus area and of interest, especially if they can be combined with other environmental benefits like an advantaged end-of-life profile as well. So in that regard, it's really not a one-off replacement journey, but it's really building on the baseline and continuing to innovate in that way, but doing it in a sustainable way that's aligned with, for example, what RCI is trying to achieve.
Okay, and with regard to the other two renewable carbon feedstocks, CO2 usage and recycling, is this also an issue in your company?
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly a part of the toolbox that as it matures and becomes available will play an increasing role. I think, as I mentioned, as a company that participates in a range of specialty markets, we're looking at performance first, and then of course combining that with a sustainable source. As recycled materials become viable at scale and become accessible in a sustainable way, not all recycled materials are equal. They're clearly part of the proposition. Now, our focus is not primarily around material uses, like, for example, in packaging, where the choice of recycled materials is really number one topic in discussion. But they are important as they touch a lot of our products from a secondary perspective as well. So clearly that's available. And regarding CO2, it's a very attractive building block technology that, as it again matures and becomes to scale, can play a significant role to add into the overall footprint reduction.
Okay, many thanks. And I will jump a little bit to topic. your nutrition bioscience business was formerly part of DuPont and is now with IFF. So what does this mean for your business to be now with IFF after DuPont, and what new opportunities are there with regard to renewable carbon?
Yeah, I think the transformation of DuPont over the last 10 years is pretty much reflected in the media, and many have followed that. Now our path forward with, as part of IFF, is really emphasizing on using our science foundation and science strength and bringing it really as a building block into a number of markets that were either traditionally with IFF, but also now with health and biosciences, this new division. And so when we talk about renewable carbon, of course, as I mentioned already, many materials are either already sourced out of renewable carbons, or now there are a number of opportunities created where we can use our biotechnology toolbox that comes from the legacy DuPont part and innovate and invent new materials that are inherently renewable for the larger IFF organization. That's really kind of the factor here that was brought together to really bring strength to this new organization going forward.
Yeah, many thanks for this answer. And this brings me already to my final question. What is IFF's goal for in the Renewable Carbon Initiative, and what do you hope to achieve within the initiative?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I mean, we're not starting from zero. We're clearly already well established in this, and traditionally, most of our products are already, renewably sourced. Now, I think one of the big pieces that our partnership here with RCI is targeting is that we're really building up the science foundation to not only measure, but also articulate why this transition makes sense, why it's aligned with sustainability targets, be it either policy driven or through our customers recognized. So being able to be part of this type of organization really helps us take that next step. So I'm looking forward to really get into dialogue around talking about appropriate land use, about sources, about how to measure progress in this area. And I think RCI is the right partner to help message that across the various industries and customers.
Okay, many thanks. And many thanks for sharing your goals and visions with us, and also to give a brief glance in your company. And of course, I would also like to thank our viewers out there for joining us today. And dear viewers, if you are now interested in IFF's activities, the Renewable Carbon Initiative, or our other members, please note the web address in the final credits of this video. And thanks again, and I hope we can see us next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.